A new hunter revealed, new events, and 3 pages of notes. This is a lot of information. Let's begin. Welcome back to another episode, guys. Let's get into the insane amount of content that we've got to talk about today. I took, 1 hour, 2 hours? I don't know how long it took to put this together. And thank you so much again to everybody on the TWIV checkers team. I call it TWIV because it's the This Week at Entity 5 that check notes in the background. They are a great help and help fix a ton of stuff because these notes were not perfect, but they were pretty good overall, I'd say. So let's talk about what we're getting this week. This week, the first thing that we're getting, look, maybe the most important for the gameplay that we have in the game, is that we're getting Archer available in the store. She should also, or maybe possibly will be added to the Duo Hunters, Tarot, Crystal Tarot, and stuff like that. I believe this is usually when they release the characters into these modes. They don't usually add them to rank for a little bit more longer, usually the 3rd week after the release. It's also possible they won't add her if she's too powerful in this mode. Another thing that we can expect this week is due to some of the shop costumes not participating in the return of costume voting, whatever that means, I don't really know what it's talking about. They will restart the event this week and they will reward us with 10 memory spheres and 888 fragments. I'm not really sure what they're talking about, which shop costumes they mean. Maybe you guys can tell me down in the comments. I forgot to ask the TWIV checkers what they meant by this, but anyway, this is what they announced. This week we're getting the return of the original final Blowout game mode. This is the mode where you got, I think as far as I remember, the mode where you get to play normal Identity 5 but with special cards to kind of buff your effects and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. And they're adding a new one. I'm not sure if this is a separate game mode or if it's just they're adding this to the original one, because they said new final Blowout mode and the limited return of original final Blowout. They have revealed some new cards that have some interesting effects, including reducing damage taken if you're a survivor, increasing the decoding speed when survivors are eliminated, and revealing selected survivors as hunter, and a ton more. I'm really excited about this one. I'm surprised they're bringing it back so quickly and with some really cool effects. In the Spyglass store, we'll be getting some returning content, such as novelist B tier skin Orfeo, and also Duke Raven, so 2 skins for Orpheus, and also Garden's B tier Lady in Waiting, along with 3 accessories, 2 dynamic graffiti, and 1 normal graffiti if I remember correctly. It said return of content, but I hadn't really seen any of the dynamic graffiti or normal graffiti before, so I'm not really sure what they mean there. Some other changes that we're getting this week is that rank protection cards, the ones that you get occasionally during events, will now affect deduction points, however that works. And also there's going to be, this is a really good quality of life feature, a Wi-Fi indicator. Usually like in matches you can see what your ping is at with that Wi-Fi symbol. That should be now at the top of your screen in the lobby. I'm assuming this means your room when you're waiting for matches, so you can check your ping before you start a match and decide whether you want to wait or not. And of course, this week we're getting some character days, including Prospector's character day. I forgot to write which days they were. So many things in my notes. Anyway, I think it was on the Wednesday or maybe the Thursday, and it's going to be his 6th character day, and his reward will be an exclusive portrait. And because Prospector has an alternate form, his hunter form, we're getting Fool's Gold's character day on the exact same day, meaning he's getting his 2nd character day, including a portrait frame as his reward. Okay, it's time for us to talk about all of the future content. NetEase recently did a live stream revealing about 2 and a bit months worth of content, and yeah, I have to talk about all of this. I do want to clarify here that I'm going to go as quick as possible through all of this. I will go into more detail in the future as we get closer to the release of each piece of content, but I really want to get through this without giving too many opinions. Maybe occasionally I will. I've also put these ones in order of their time when they're releasing, the dates and stuff like that, so chronological order. But I do have this first category where I don't know exactly when these things are releasing. They just announced them without saying when. Let's talk about those ones first, including adjustments to how scoring points are calculated in matches. They've kind of created some new rules now, fixes and stuff, so points are maybe more consistent. Anyway, it's on the screen there if you are curious about it. I was interested in seeing some of the things that they're changing. It was quite cool. There are some optimizations for skins and accessories coming at some point, including Priestess's SS tier skin, where they're kind of changing the veil. I think also some of the glowing effects. Seer's SS tier skin, that I didn't notice any difference. You guys can tell me what the difference is there. Toy Merchant's S tier skin from the Lantern Festival, that she has now got some fireworks, I think makes the skin feel more of an S tier skin, and an Acrobat S tier skin that I've even forgotten which skin this is. I can't remember the name of it, but this also has some feather effects around him added on to what he already had that had some shapes, I believe, floating around him. They're also optimizing some accessories, including Coordinator's Lightning Generator one. They've been talking about that one for a while. The effects look much better now. There's like an electric orb, and she also has footprints on the floor. They're changing a Dancer accessory, and it looks insanely better. It looks like a completely different accessory. And also I believe it's a patient and psychologist accessory, but I didn't see and remember which one this was. Or maybe it's just an interaction between patient and psychologist together. Maybe it's just the skins together. I don't really know. Either way, there's a cool little kind of glowing effect when they go near each other. They're doing an update at some point for their login rewards. Yes, if you log into the game for 2,500 days, that's a lot. How many years is that? Can someone check that? You'll be getting 888 inspirations, 888 clues, and an A-tier accessory unlock card. That's pretty cool. And they're also updating the recharge rewards. So if you buy echoes, does it also include if you buy it through the website? I think it does. If you get 600,000 echoes worth of money spent in the game, you'll get a portrait effect that gives you cat ears, I'm assuming, around your portrait frame, and even more stuff. And also for 700,000 echoes, you'll get battle action effects and talent effects, whatever those are, and a ton of other rewards. Again, you can see those all on the screen as I'm talking about them. Again, some point in the future, it could be this week, could be anytime, we'll be getting 10 Season 36 Essence 3 essences as the celebration for NetEase adding Identity 5 to the Asian Games. That, again, I think is like an esports version of the Olympics or something like that, or Olympics that has an esports division, and they got in. So that's really cool, meaning we're getting free essences. I think this is separate from the other 10 essences that we're getting as part of another event. They weren't really clear on that. A quick reminder that sometime soon we should expect the new revamped quick messages system. Don't really know when that is, but I talked a little bit about it last week, where they're going to be adding a voice feature where you'll be able to talk and it will then send a quick message, and they're adding things like customizability of switching between a character did this in this place and so on. And they also announced the 7th anniversary's offline gift package that is a skin for Prospector called Gambler in the Spotlight. Now, I know there are a ton of Prospector fans out there, but I'm not a big fan of this skin. Maybe I need to see what it looks like more in-game, but the art really didn't sell me on it. Not that I really was going to buy it in the first place. I don't really buy anniversary skins or anything like that. That's a lot of money. Not something that I would have wanted. And I usually do think the anniversary skins are quite impressive. Okay, now let's go into chronological order. On March 25th, we're getting a Q&A answered. So that's going to give us even more things to talk about, or maybe just clarifications on what we're already getting. On March 27th, we're getting the Enlightenment Under the Stars event that I believe is the beginning of the anniversary event. This event is going to be mega amazing. It's going to probably have stories and all sorts and stuff like that. There's going to be a special reward of a 1,388 to 388 Echo discount coupon that can be purchased in the store or also gotten through the event. I don't really know what this coupon did. There's also other rewards, including an A-tier unlock. I think it's permanent. I believe it should be, as it usually is. And a B-tier unlock that's also permanent, along with other permanent unlock stuff. An A-tier furniture piece called Zodiac Table that looks very cool. A B-tier skin for Toy Merchant, and even more rewards. Of course, this event is very kind of starry themed, and I have a moderator of mine that would love that. I think she's looking forward to this one. This event is specifically designed for her. But yeah, I really do love this kind of theme of Under the Stars or whatever it is. And there should be a reward, I'm assuming if you log in, of 10 essences for Season 36 Essence 3. That is the anniversary essence. During this event, there'll be some new store furniture pieces, including an S-tier swing called Stardust Swing and a Starlight Chandelier that looks cool, and a B-tier called Celestial Rug. And there'll be some returning furniture from previous events, including the Phantom Helm, the Chemical Lab Bench, and 6 pieces in total. All really cool. Also on March 27th, we're getting the return of a ton of One skins and also Ivory Tower skins. If you want to see which ones, I'm hopefully showcasing those on the screen right here. Still March 27th, we're getting a Duo Hunters update, and I'm really excited about this one. I play a lot of Duo Hunters. It's possibly the mode that I play the most because it's the most casual one for me to play, and it's going to be adding new weather and also new items. When the match reaches a certain stage, I'm assuming maybe midway or near the end, I don't really know, there's going to be new types of weather that appear. There's going to be a selected weather type that goes across the map. Don't know how insane this is going to be, but there are 3 different options for now, including wildfire, that I believe if you touch the fire, your abilities get kind of cancelled for a while. There's going to be a dust storm that I believe pushes you around or pulls you around, similar probably to Nightwatch's ability. I'm not completely sure. And there's also earthquake weather that I don't think is really weather. It's kind of just more of like a natural disaster. And this will kind of have, I'm assuming, areas around the map on the ground where if you walk walk over them, you're going to be like hindered, so you aren't going to be able to move as quickly if you stand in those areas or run through those areas. I'm very curious to see this. There are going to be new items purchasable, such as for hunters, they're going to be able to purchase resistance and also interaction potion that I can imagine makes it so they can vault things, break things faster, and be more resistant. Resistance part 1 already exists. Maybe it's like an increased resistance, I don't even know. And also a raven, so they can send some of their money to the other hunter to help them out. And there's also going to be a bogus bag for both survivor and hunter that lets you kind of buy the bag, and that lets you access the store remotely at least once a match. I don't really know exactly how that works. And still on March 27th, we're getting a special fragment package. It costs 160 echoes. We're going to be getting 2 actually. We're getting one that costs 160 echoes and it gives you 1,888 fragments, and also one for 980 echoes that gives you 6,888 echoes. Early April, that could be the 1st, could be the 2nd, could be the 3rd. We don't really know. They just said early April. We're getting a new layout plaza function, or plaza if you say it that way. I'm assuming what this means is that you'll be able to upload your room's kind of current layout and then share it with other people so they can copy it, and then they can have all their furniture pieces placed exactly like yours. If you don't own some of the same furniture pieces in the certain layout, those things of course won't be placed because you don't have them, but I can imagine they will get filled in if you purchase them, or maybe there'll even be an option to purchase them within the layout if you really care to kind of make it the same way as somebody else's does. That's a really, really cool feature in my opinion. I think this is great because rooms are kind of something that they've been trying to push more and more and more because they do add more furniture pieces. Back in the day, they would do these really occasionally. So it's really cool to see that they're adding features that really make this kind of feature in general such a big and important part of IDV. On April 3rd, we're getting Season 36 Essence 3 that has a fantastic looking S tier skin for Psychologist. I still want to look what it looks like in game, but it looks really good from the art. Also an A tier for Professor, and one in the back there that I think is Opera Singer, and I'm not really sure about this one. Usually I like Opera Singer skins. I'm more hopeful to see what it looks like in the game because the art wasn't too impressive to me. Yeah, Professor one does look pretty good though. This essence is based around the anniversary, of course, the anniversary theme of stars and stuff like that. And of course, we're also getting some special packages, including a patient package and a wax artist package that has some fantastic looking skins as well. Wax artist one really stands out. The patient one is apparently limited and the wax artist one is time limited. These packages are probably going to also have accessories then, I can imagine, because they are packages instead of just skins, meaning that we're going to get some new wax artist accessories. I'm excited about that one. There's going to be a public map called Planetarium releasing at the same time, where you'll be able to fly through the air and experience zero gravity. That's what the description from Twitter said, or X, if that's what you want to call it. Don't know if that actually means we're going to be able to fly, but there's also going to be confirmed a duo dance mode that we've had before, so you'll be able to kind of dance with people. That's really nice. We're also getting the return of Mitsuji Kamata, the Kamati Moon crossover with all of the skins. We aren't getting any new ones as far as I can tell, but the Mercenary, BQ, Sculptor, Soul Weaver, Perfumer, Prospector, and Toy Merchant skins will all be returning for you to purchase. They are great, fantastic steampunk skins, and I'm glad that they're bringing them back. Although they brought them back a decent amount of times now, but it has been a while since the last one. The Copycat mode is getting new roles or new characters as far as I understand, including a secret agent, broker, underground doctor, and consultant. I don't know anything about Copycat. I've only played it once or twice. It wasn't my kind of thing, but I know there's a massive community around it, so definitely read through everything on the screen right here. There are some changes coming to the guaranteed S tier skins and essences. If you wanted to get the guaranteed S tier skin, if you didn't pull it out of luck, it used to be 250 pulls, so 250 essences you had to open to be able to get that guaranteed S tier. That is a lot of money spent, but now it's been reduced to 200, at least on April 3rd, not yet. Meaning it'll be a little bit easier to get the Psychologist skin. You won't have to spend as much if you are really unlucky on that day. I also wanted to give you a reminder that on April 3rd, we're getting the Team GG Champion skins that we talked about last week. Those are the ones for Entomologist and also for Breaking Wheel. Okay, let's move on to April 10th. So that's the following week. We're getting Lawyer's Once skin. It's a new one that they just revealed. I believe it's called The Weight of Justice. Not a big fan of this one. I'm not a big fan of Lawyer overall. He does have some good skins, but this one is not one that I'm a big fan of. I'm sure there are some people who love it. There's a Forward Ivory Tower skin releasing as well that's called Touchdown. It's going to be 60 echoes unless they change the price. So that's a good deal if you want to spend just a little bit of money on a fancy skin that most people don't have. And there's also the Orfeo's game returning. It's going to have a limited return. I think I remember this game mode. Is this the one where they sit around the table? I don't really remember. Yep, that's coming back. So cool, I guess, if people care about that. On April 17th, we're getting a new crossover that is the Identity 5 and LB, IB. I don't know if it's LB or IB crossover, but anyway, I don't really know anything about this, what it is. Is it an anime? Is it a game? I'm sure it is something cool. I'll be looking it up, of course, when we get closer to the event, so I can be more aware of what this is. But we do know, as far as we can tell, that Journalist is going to be getting a skin that is going to be the LB character. Coordinator should have a skin as Mary, and Ripper should be Gary. All of these skins should be A tiers and echoes only, and one of them should be free during the event. I'm not sure if it means you'll be able to select which one you want, but at least one of them will be free. Also on April 17th, we're getting a weird feature that I really am worried about because I don't really know what this will entail, but we're getting the NPC affection system. And yes, I believe it's probably going to be what we expect it to be. It says you'll be able to build bonds with your favorite NPC and get rewards. Making a connection with the person isn't reward enough. I know it's an NPC, but you know what I mean. Why do we need rewards for that? I'm sure there are some people who will love this. There's a very small community of people that love this. But is this completely necessary? I don't know. Could this have been put into a different game? Maybe it could have, you know, a spin-off of Identity 5 where you get to go and date characters. Dating sim, anybody? Dead by Daylight did it. The rewards will be emotes, portraits, frames, and graffiti for novelist, entomologist, and prospector. In mid to late April, so we don't know exactly when this is releasing, and they may delay it as they sometimes do, we're getting an update to scribbled ideas, including a jump function that I believe is exactly what that means. We're also getting a Ripper adjustment that I want to briefly talk about. He's getting an ability now where he's going to have two different options for his foggy blades. He has 2 charges now. So if he uses 1 charge of the 2 that he has, he'll be able to shoot a foggy blade that does a chip hit, so like a quarter of health instead of half health like a normal hit does. And if he wants to use a normal foggy blade, he has to have 2 charges, and he uses up 2 charges. So if he has 2 charges, he has the option to use 1 big normal foggy blade or 2 small foggy blades that do chip hits. Not really sure how I feel about this. Not sure if this really helps him too much. Can imagine it might win or change some matches for him. Not something that I was expecting for him. We're also getting some nerfs for Hullabaloo, Goatman, and Mechanic, and buffs for Magician, Embalmer, Entomologist, Gravekeeper, Explorer, the Mind's Eye, Lucky Guy, Little Girl, Patient, Fool's Gold, Broken Wheel, Guard 26, Undead, Gamekeeper, Soul Weaver, Joker, that is Smiley Face, and also Wu Chang. So yeah, very interesting to see which adjustments are coming. Of course, I'm looking forward to an Undead buff. Of course I am. Does Gamekeeper need a buff? Does Gravekeeper need a buff? He just got one a few weeks ago, or maybe months ago at this point. Whatever it wasn't that long ago. Either way, very interesting. On April 24th, we're getting some more content, of course, and this one is the most exciting one because we're getting a new hunter, and that character is called Peddler. Her real name is Valentina Yaga Vasiliev. I thought that she was Baba Yaga for a little bit. That is a Russian folklore kind of character, but I don't think she is. Some people are saying she's connected to a real person in real life. She seems to have sweets in the image, but if you look at her S tier that we'll be talking about in a minute, her ability might be connected to babies. I don't really know, or throwing. I don't know what she's going to be doing. I'm very curious. The developers have said that her abilities are mostly focused around chasing, but she also has a decent amount of control abilities as well. In their words, has a rich skill set. So she must have a lot of different abilities. Maybe she's going to be very reminiscent of something like Dream Witch, or maybe even Clerk. She's going to be quite a complex character to play, but I'm very excited to see what she's like. And also on April 24th, we'll be getting the new characters S tier package, because she's not going to be an Essence one, because of course this is when Season 36 Essence 3 should be running, meaning she's going to be only a package like, for example, Undead, for example, or maybe Patient when he was released. And this S tier skin looks really, really, really cool. I don't know exactly what this theme is, but she looks really metal. On April 28th, we're getting the Deduction style voting, or at least the beginning of it. A week later, so I believe the Thursday after that, we'll be getting the Nymph Awards, the top best performance ones. I believe that's what it's called. They've changed some of the rules for the Deduction style voting event because of complaints that we had last year. They're making it so it requires matches and logins to be able to get votes, and a couple of other things. Players must now be level 15 or higher, and they've even added even more changes if you want to read them. I think they are very cool and should stop people from just making accounts to spam whatever kind of character they want to get skins for. The Nymph Awards will have a total of 4 characters or 4 skins that will be made, including 2 for global and 2 for China. So 2 characters for global, 2 characters for China, and we'll be getting all of those together, 4 characters. We're still going here. On April 30th, we're getting Season 37 Essence 1 with an S tier that looks like it's for little girl as far as I can tell. And then we've got A tiers for Feaster and Meteorologist. This Essence looks absolutely fantastic. I love this theme and I'm looking forward to getting these, at least getting one of these skins. I don't really mind which one. They're really, really cool. Feaster is a cat with a crown. What's going on there? I think this is one of the most creative Feaster skins I've seen in a while. I hope to get this one, even though I don't play Feaster all that much. Since this is also the beginning of Season 37 on April 30th, we'll be getting a new logic path, and this is going to bring along an A tier skin for Dream Witch called Madam Seamstress to the logic path. Don't know what I feel about this skin. I usually love Dream Witch skins, but this one seems strange, not very good. I don't know. That's my opinion. Maybe you guys like it. We also know what the season rank rewards are going to be for Season 37. And we'll have an S tier for Explorer called Coffee Pot, an A tier for Pharaoh Lady called Deck of Cards, and Dream Witch will be getting one called Withered Wreath. Still on April 30th, we're getting the OPH Joker and OPH Lily release. So we now know that there's going to be a smiley face OPH skin. The A tier skin is called OPH Joker, as I just mentioned, and it will be coming along with an S tier accessory that you can probably see on the screen right here. I can't remember what it looks like, but anyway, you guys can see what it looks like. It's called Leaping Marcato. Don't know what the effects are, but I hope there'll be a similar quality to the ones that we've gotten in the past from the esports event. We also know that future esports event skins should be for Mechanic, Seer, Batter, and Embalmer for Team BLK instead of OPH, I think, and also possibly one for the Hunter Geisha. I want to see Geisha looking like a gamer. That's what I really want to see. But yeah, the OPH Joker skin looks really cool. I didn't know it was him for a while. I thought it was from a different game. And because we're getting new OPH skins, we're also getting the return of the other OPH series skins, including Antiquarian, Mercenary, and Prisoner, because it's kind of like a celebration of the esports event, I guess. And we're also getting the return of a ton of champion costumes, including one for Coordinator, Dream Witch, Mechanic, Bonbon, cut 26, Mercenary, Sculptor, Antiquarian, and the other Dream Witch skin, because yes, she has 2 champion skins. On May 15th, so we're moving on to the following month, we're getting the return of the Line Friends Part 1 crossover, meaning we're getting Mercenary's brown teddy bear skin and Entomologist's Coney white bunny skin. On March 22nd, we're getting a new Copycat map that is Golden Cave. If you are into Copycat, I'm sure that you are excited about that one. And on March 29th, we're getting the second part of the Line Friends crossover. I think a lot of people have been talking about bringing this one back, at least in the Q&As. They keep on asking about it. But we're getting part 2. We don't know which characters as far as I know, but it's exciting to see. We'll be getting more skins for the crossover, and they're going to be quite cute because I really did like the Entomologist one from part 1. I think that is everything, guys. That was a really long video. My camera stopped halfway through. The recording was slightly too long. Make sure you check out the video that's on the screen right there because, yeah, that one probably took a little less time to record.